Good morning, guys. Hope you are having a wonderful day, wherever you start tuning in from. Just wanted to give you a quick morning update from up here at Media Hill at Ocheti Sakowin camp. If I turn around, you're going to see the camp. As you can see, there's a pretty heavy frost on the ground here today. But I just wanted to show you the growth of this place to start with. So as far as the eye can see right now. Good morning, Tass. Good morning, Angie. Morning, Stacy. This is just a view of the camp right now. And wander across. I've got my friend here who's actually live streaming with the. Tell them who you're live streaming with.
Mevo. But no, who I'm live streaming with is the Lakota People's Law Project.
And what is the Lakota People's Law Project?
The Lakota People's Law Project is part of the Romero Institute, and they've been working for the last 8 years to basically stop the abusive taking of Lakota children, upwards to as many as 750 a year, from Lakota families, and basically putting them into white homes. And it was quite an operation. They have worked tirelessly with Madonna, Thunderhawk, Chase, and the other staff in Rapid City, and they basically stopped what is really an abuse of the Indian Child Welfare Act. And they're working to get the funds going directly from the federal government to the tribes, instead of it going to the state, which was administered by the lieutenant governor. It's been quite a battle. 750 kids a year taken from families that would rather have them in the Lakota culture, their families, and their grandmas and grandpas. And there's money behind it. You know, they would get a fee per child, so it was a $100 million business. So anyway, and because Madonna's here at the camp, it's all about the children. It's all about water.
So if I'm hearing you rightly, the main aim of this is to ensure that children are placed with families of the Lakota so they can continue their traditions and they don't lose their traditions.
The grandpas, they can take care. I mean, the people are having a hard time, so there's a legitimate reason for children to be adopted or held, but not to take them away and turn it into an industry that feeds Lakota children into white families against the wishes of their communities.
Perfect. And tell the people one more time where they can find information about this.
The Lakota People's Law Project. They have a website. I recommend Facebook because they have a lot of activity going on there, but you can get a lot of information on the website, LakotaPeoplesLawProject.org.
Perfect.
You can get them on Facebook, and they're here supporting Standing Rock and water, children.
It's all about the future, isn't it? Absolutely. So you'll see right here, he's actually live streaming as the sun comes up. Do you do this every morning?
Yeah, I'm going to do it tomorrow morning. I was up a little bit late today, but it's a little cloudy, a little cold. Yesterday it was sunny and warm. It's a little bit different.
Yeah, what did you say? It's about 20 degrees different today, if not more, huh?
Yeah, it's colder. Okay, so now you go over here.
Oh, now I've got
some people on. You can shout out. So you're live streaming.
Yeah, so while I'm live streaming...
Your locale, and just step a little side here and watch. I'm going to use this Mevo and kind of cut around a little bit there.
Alright, so you guys just heard from the Lakota People's Law Project, and he's live streaming, so what he's asked me to do is to go ahead and just give a shout out to his audience, let them know where they can find more information, and for everyone who's on here who already follows me, thank you. I can't work with the microphone. I'm on earphones for you guys because you said my voice was bad before, so it's now on that. I can't do anything with the phone. It's just a phone. Sorry, guys. All right. So if people are watching this morning on the Lakota People's Law Project...
Whoa.
What happened?
Whoa.
Have you lost it? So anyone who's watching this, you guys can follow along at some places. We're going to give you some other people's live streams, other websites.
We're going to do this again. Hold on, because I went to just audio and it dumped out. I wonder if the cold's freaking out.
All right. We'll come back to that in a second. So the reason I was jumping on with you guys today, I had some exciting news for you. I want you to look out for a couple of live streams today. All of you probably know about Red Fawn. She's been sitting in jail for a long time now, and they're looking at trying to have a release, but there's a massive amount of bail money that's been needs to be posted. It's like $100,000. So that it's going to be a documentary. There's some filming that's been done by someone in association with the elders. There's a GoFundMe that's going to be out there. So later on I'm going to come back with some more information on that. Hopefully sit down with someone who knows a lot more about Red Fawn's situation and be able to ask you guys to help jump on and share that and get the message out there. So that's one part of the news. Good morning, Amanda. How's lacrosse today? Is it as cold as here? And I did see Neitha Morgan joined us. For you guys who haven't been following me since Mississippi Stand, the final stand at Mississippi Stand, where for 4 days there was a blockade of one of the dump sites for DAPL, I met Neitha Morgan. Now, Neitha Morgan is a Gold Star mother. What that means is she has lost someone. She lost her son. And I'm going to tell you this story because this really talks about what this war's about. This protection is about profit. It's about big oil, and it goes so deep. So her son Matthew was in Afghanistan, celebrated his 23rd birthday with some friends. The next day he was given orders. Him and 4 other people were told to take a dirt road for oil tankers, whatever the cost. They were underprotected with their equipment, and unfortunately that was the last thing those guys ever did. They all died that day opening a road up for oil tankers to get to and from a refinery in Afghanistan. So Neitha joined us at Mississippi Stand, and she was one of the water protectors who helped close down that dump site. She's also been here at Standing Rock. She was actually camped with her dog. If you look away in the distance here, I'm going to show you. You'll kind of see the river down there, and you see there's a line of teepees in the distance over there. She was camped right down there, except she didn't have a teepee, she just had a canvas tent. She had to go home to sort some things out, but she will be back here. She was very peacefully there with her dog, yes. So that's what I was telling you. This war is about profit and big oil. It's not about people, it's about taking land. It's about not allowing people to live the way that they wish to live, to follow their their beliefs, their way of life. So that's the story with Neitha. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice this morning. I'll try not to. It's very cold, as you can see here. It's probably 20 degrees colder than it was yesterday this time in the morning, and it's only going to get worse. So it is, as you can see, there's a lot of people here. There's a lot of people bringing in supplies. There's a lot of people here building and taking care of the elders. There's over 13 different food kitchens here that are serving people food. There's the Sacred Fire where we can get coffee every single day, anytime. It's always there by the firekeepers. So there's many people here that are doing things to ensure that everyone's safe and protected. So that's with that. Now the other piece of news is, I don't know if you guys have heard of the Collective Evolution. They're a online news outlet which has a conscious side to their news. If you look at them up on Facebook, they have about 4.8 million people on their page. They've reached out to me and they've asked me if I will work with them. So I'm going to be working with those guys and doing some live stream updates with them. That's going to go out to over 4.8 million people. The other thing with that as well is that we're going to they're building what they're called a conscious media collective. So later today I'm going to be announcing a little bit more about that, but that's going to have a reach of over 30 million. The idea is to continue to get the stories out to mainstream media and not getting out.
Somebody just got onto ours from having seen yours. So.
That's amazing. So I'm going to do a shout out in a second. So later on I will be coming back explaining a bit more about the Conscious Media Collective, talking about their rule of ethics, their code of conduct, so that the news that comes out is the true story, it's not false facts. And I've been asked to be part of that and to help promote that. So that's extremely exciting to be that way, to be able to take this story to even more people. So thanks for everyone who's joining this morning. I'm coming back to go back to the Lakota People's Law Project, and apparently some of you guys have been joining that live stream since we mentioned it and checking out the page. So thank you for that.
Well, you can keep going. If they check out his page, you can see him live streaming to his page from our page. So tell us about what you do, how long you've been here, what's your passion?
What's my passion? My passion is getting the message out that we're protectors of this earth. We don't own this earth. The reason we're stood here today is for the grandchildren and their grandchildren's grandchildren. The reason we're stood here today is to make sure that these native people who have had their land stolen, their beliefs trod on, and been treated as less than humans for hundreds of years, have their voice heard, are able to live the way that they choose to live. Their traditions are not lost, their lands are not stolen anymore, they are not marginalized, brutalized. And to show them that everyone in the world is standing with Standing Rock. People yesterday will have seen the praywithstandingrock.com event with Unify. There were over 40,000 people in 400 different places across the world, all synchronized meditation and prayer yesterday. So the reason we're here is, one, to shut this pipeline down, but two, is to make sure that these atrocities stop happening, to make sure that we start changing how we live in the world, to make sure that we leave the oil in the ground, we go away from fossil fuels, we use some of the new technology, we start to move away from that, we stop making the same mistakes that have been made for years and years, and we no longer treat the earth as though we own it, but we realize we're purely caretakers, and it's our job to leave it as a better place for the future generations.
Some might mention the treaties, but also honoring the treaties.
It is also about honoring the treaties. I'm going to be really honest with you. Before I got here, I had very, very little knowledge of the native way of life. I've only been here for under 3 weeks. I wasn't expecting to become the face of this, and a lot of people reach out and call me a hero, and I want to say I'm not a hero. I'm just someone who's been here with a camera, the right place at the right time. The real heroes are the indigenous people who have stood up and taken this for hundreds of years, who have had genocide against them, and they still stand up peacefully, prayerfully, and continue this from a prayerful, spiritual way. They're the real heroes. The people who have stood up and who have been shot by the non-lethal rounds, have had broken arms, potentially losing the sight in their eye. They're the heroes. The people who have been so traumatized that they have to go and see wellness counselors here from the things they've seen because of the brutal militarized police tactics that have been used against peaceful, prayerful, non-armed water protectors of all ages, from young children, from babies, all the way up to senior citizens. There's people here from every generation, every nation, every relation. They're the heroes. I just happen to be stood here with a camera and have the world watching me. But the world needs to watch what's happening here and share this out to make sure this story gets out and make sure this isn't repeated, because this is repeated in every single reservation across the country.
And you talked about, and there's a lot of non-Indian people. And there's a lot of non-Indian heroes here. People coming in and supporting and being on those front lines with their indigenous brothers.
Absolutely. There are a lot of non-indigenous folk here. But you know, the other thing when you say that, you can't look at someone and know if they're indigenous. There are a lot of people here who have indigenous roots, who have indigenous history in their family. And they're from all tribes. The really key thing about this is there are tribes for the first time. I believe, don't quote me on this because figures get out of my head sometimes. I believe right now it's over 400 different tribes that have come together from all over the world, all different tribes, all different nations, all different belief systems, all different histories, and they've all come together unified as one to unite and stand up and say no more. No more will they be downtrodden, no more raping Mother Earth, no more treating this as though we can do what we want and it doesn't matter, no more not listening to the Creator. Yesterday the elder that spoke at the global meditation and prayer organised by Unify, what they said was, listen to the earth, stand here with peace. If you see people that aren't, point them out, talk to them, because the Creator is listening. The only way to resolve this is through peaceful, prayerful action. And if we do that, the Creator will take care of everything. The Spirit will take care of everything, and we will be protected. And this atrocities will stop happening. The machines will fall apart. The fences will go. Things will happen because of the power of prayer. So anyone that's not here that can't join us, the things you can do is every day you can pray. You can light some sage in whatever manner you pray, whether it's Christian, whether it's Lakota, Dakota, whether you're atheist and you meditate. But you can hold a space for everyone at Standing Rock. You can also call the White House, call the governor, call Morton County sheriffs, call all the people like the banks. Look and see who are the people who are supporting Energy Transfer Partners. I've been sent information that 2 banks in Norway have now pulled out because of people pulling money out, because of the pressure put on by people taking money out the banks. Here in America, you've got US Bank, you've got Wells Fargo, you've got Citibank, just to name 3. Look that up. Call those guys up. Tie those phone lines up all day, letting them know that you don't like the fact they're supporting this. Even if you don't bank with them, you can call them and talk to them about it. Because people power and moving money is what's going to have a massive effect on this. Because if there's no funding for this pipeline, they can't complete this pipeline.
Right. And during the press conference yesterday, which all of you just please go and check out the press conference that happened yesterday that gave a lot of the scoop. But they also talked about the fact that this pipeline isn't just right here. It's crossing through Iowa and Indian country. It's time for these pipelines to just kind of stop.
Right. I was talking to someone yesterday and they said oil prices are at an all-time low. The demand for oil is at an all-time low. So building more pipelines is illogical. And I do want to correct myself on something I said. I used the word tribes. The word tribes was given to the different Indian nations by the US, the white people in the US. To not recognize the fact that they are sovereign nations, many different sovereign nations. So this is lots of different nations that have come together, not tribes, and I apologize for that mistake. As I said, I don't have a massive knowledge of the native culture, the native traditions. I'm doing my best to be respectful, and sometimes, like everyone in the world, I'll make a mistake, but hands up, I corrected it.
Well, it is amazing with all this live stream going on, like you're a kind of a one-man news department. You don't have producers and researchers, and you're feeding your scripts. There's no teleprompter. It's not like we get everything right every time. The best thing to do is just strive for getting out the truth. If an untruth comes up, we correct it. We do the best we can. It's this guy's a one-man media team. How many followers you got?
I think 65,000 last time I checked.
So the followers we got, let's shout out, give me your information and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I will give you my information. You can find me, either find me through Facebook, Kevin Gilbert with 2 T's. The other way you can find me is if you go to Let Your Soul Play. That's www.letyoursoulplay.com. You can link out to YouTube, you can link out to my Facebook and follow me that way. I think it links out to Twitter as well, if I remember rightly. But you can also follow a lot of other people here. You have got the Indigenous Environmental Network. You've got Indigenous Rising Media. You've got Dallas Goldtooth. You've got Tom Goldtooth. You've got Myron Jury. You've got Digital Smoke Signals. You've got Josue Rivas Photography, spelt with an F. You've also got Honor the Earth. You're going to have Collective Evolution. You have Unify. There's all these different ways that you can follow what's going on here. You have the Young Turks. So there's many independent people out here that are putting this story out, and I invite you to go ahead, follow those pages. Please, if you're not following me already, do subscribe to my live feeds. I'm going to be here. I'm not going anywhere, and I'm going to continue to bring this news the best way that I can with the resources I have. And he's right, I am a one-man team, so my facts are checked to the best of my knowledge, and the information I share is the best I can do. It's not always 100%. Where's the real media? Let me ask you a question about the real media. Who do you think pays for the real media? Would it surprise you to know that NPR is... Check who funds NPR. Check who funds NPR. I believe it's Chevron are involved with funding NPR. So they have some oil company funding. So you have to check these things. The banks, the media, they're all tied together with the oil companies. So when you say the mainstream media isn't here, the mainstream media reports this to protect where their money's coming from, where their advertising revenue's coming from. To the best of my understanding, that's why they're not here. I could be wrong.
All right, one last time. Finding you on?
Finding me on?
Where do we find you?
You can find me at letyoursoulplay.com. You can put that in the notes if you want there. Afterwards, you'll put it up on the top. We'll make a little list on the top of the broadcast. You can find me on Facebook by Kevin, Kevin, Gilbert, Gilbert. I would have one request. If you do follow me, only send me a message if it's something vitally important, because there are so many people sending me messages. I can't answer them all. I would love to be able to, but the important messages are being lost because I'm getting so many thanks from people. The biggest thanks you can do is to share any of these live streams to keep continuing to push this story out. Thanks so much for having me, Lakota People's Law Project. It was much pleasure.
All right.
All right, guys, it's super cold here. I think you guys have got the story of what's going on. If anything is developing today, I will be back to live stream. I'll give you one last view of Kemp if I can. There you go. So, as you see, those that are just joining, do keep an eye on my live stream today. There's going to be some stuff coming about Red Fawn and a massive fundraiser to raise the bail money so that she's able to be released from jail, where she's been sat for an exceedingly long time on some charges that, you know, you can make your own decision on those charges. I don't have enough information on that, but later on I would like to try and interview someone who has a lot more information about that, be able to push that out for Red Fawn. Also later on I'm going to be coming back to you and telling you a lot more about Collective Evolution, who have asked me to do some reporting for them. They've got 4.8 million people that follow this, and they're also putting together a conscious media collective, including people like Young Turks, Unify. There's going to have a reach of up to 30 million people. So they're continuing to push this news out in a way that the world can get it. So I ask you to go ahead and just keep an eye on my live stream today, and I'll come back with more information on all those things. Thanks so much, guys. You have an amazing day, and please keep sharing this. Please keep calling the White House, calling those banks, calling the governor, and go and spread love today. And for all the people that say anything to you, if you spread this and they start commenting negatively, just let them know that, you know, at the end of the day, just ignore that, because the fire will go out if you don't stoke it. And whatever anyone says to you, they can never make you feel any way. You always have the choice on how you feel about anything someone says. All right, guys, you have an amazing day. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.